Your iPhone, the device you trust with your banking, your photos, your health data, your entire life, might already be compromised. Google just exposed an iOS exploit chain called DarkSword that uses 6 vulnerabilities, 3 of them 0 days, to achieve full device takeover. No app install needed, no suspicious link to click. Just visit the wrong website and you're done. 270 million iPhones are at risk. Let me explain exactly how this works. So what exactly is DarkSword? DarkSword is the name Google's threat intelligence team gave to a sophisticated exploit chain discovered being actively deployed in the wild. It was built by a Russian espionage group tracked as UNC 6353. And before you tune out thinking, that's government stuff, doesn't affect me, multiple commercial spyware vendors now have access to this exact exploit kit. Here's the attack surface. Any iPhone running iOS 18.4 through 18.7. That's roughly 270 million devices worldwide. The attack vector is a watering hole. The attackers compromised legitimate Ukrainian government websites and injected the exploit. When a target visits the compromised page in Safari, the chain fires automatically. No interaction required. No, do you want to install this pop-up? Nothing. Now let me break down the 6 vulnerability chain. This is where it gets terrifying from a technical perspective. DarkSword chains 6 separate vulnerabilities together, and each one does a specific job. Vulnerability 1, Safari WebKit type confusion. This is a 0 day. The chain starts with a type confusion bug in WebKit's JavaScript engine. When Safari renders the compromised page, malicious JavaScript triggers a type confusion that gives the attacker arbitrary read-write access to the browser's memory space. Vulnerability 2, Safari sandbox escape. Having code execution in the browser isn't enough. Safari runs in a sandbox. The second exploit targets a flaw in the IPC mechanism between the web content process and the GPU process, breaking out of the sandbox entirely. Vulnerability 3, IOKit driver privilege escalation. Another 0 day. Now outside the sandbox, but still in userland, the chain exploits an IOKit driver vulnerability, specifically in the GPU driver, to escalate to kernel-level privileges. This is a 0 day that Apple had no patch for when DarkSword was first deployed. Vulnerability 4, kernel memory corruption. With kernel access, the 4th exploit corrupts kernel memory structures to disable code signing enforcement. This means the attacker can now run any unsigned code on the device. Vulnerability 5, pack bypass. The third 0 day in the chain. Apple's pointer authentication codes are supposed to prevent exactly this kind of exploitation. DarkSword includes a dedicated pack bypass that neutralizes this hardware-level defense. Vulnerability 6, the persistence mechanism. The final vulnerability allows DarkSword to survive reboots by modifying the device's trust cache. This means even restarting your phone doesn't help. 6 vulnerabilities, 3 0 days, 1 seamless chain, and it takes about 4 seconds to execute. So what happens after DarkSword takes over your device? Once DarkSword has kernel-level persistent access, it deploys a surveillance implant that exfiltrates everything. All text messages, including iMessage and Signal, by reading the database directly. Complete call history, Wi-Fi passwords stored in the keychain, your precise GPS location in real time, full browser history across all browsers, crypto wallet keys and seed phrases, health data from HealthKit, photos and videos, microphone and camera activation on command. And here's the scary part. There's no visible indicator, no battery drain spike, no weird icon in the status bar. The implant was designed by people who do this professionally, and it shows. So who's behind DarkSword and why should you personally care? UNC 6353 is a Russian state-sponsored group that primarily targeted Ukrainian government officials and military personnel. But here's why you should still care even if you're not Ukrainian. First, the exploit chain has been shared with or sold to commercial spyware vendors. That means governments and private entities around the world can now deploy this against anyone. This is the NSO Group Pegasus playbook all over again, but arguably worse because of the watering hole delivery mechanism. Second, 0 days don't stay exclusive. Once a technique is known to multiple groups, it proliferates. Security researchers found evidence that at least 3 separate groups were using variations of DarkSword within weeks of each other. Third, the watering hole approach means collateral damage is inevitable. If you happen to visit any of the compromised sites, even accidentally, even from a Google search result, you could be infected. The attackers were targeting Ukrainian government workers, but the websites were public. Here's what you need to do right now. Step 1. Update your iPhone immediately. Apple patched all 6 vulnerabilities in iOS 18.8, which dropped last week. Go to Settings, General, Software Update right now. Seriously, pause this video and do it. Step 2. If you are running iOS 18.4 through 18.7 and you have any reason to think you might have visited Ukrainian government websites or adjacent domains, consider a full device wipe and restore from an iCloud backup dated before the exploit was active, roughly before January 2026. Step 3. Enable lockdown mode if you're a high-value target: journalist, activist, government worker, executive. Settings, privacy and security, lockdown mode. It significantly reduces your attack surface. Step 4. Use a password manager to rotate any credentials stored in your keychain, especially crypto wallet recovery phrases. If DarkSword got those, changing your phone password won't help. 6 vulnerabilities chained together, 3 0 days. 270 million devices at risk, and the only thing standing between you and a full device takeover was whether you visited the wrong website at the wrong time. This is the reality of mobile security in 2026. Your phone is the most valuable target on the planet, and state-sponsored hackers are investing millions to crack it open. The arms race between Apple and these groups isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. Update your phone, turn on lockdown mode if you need it, and share this video with anyone who still thinks iPhones don't get hacked. And subscribe for more tech breakdowns. I'll see you in the next one.